There was a time when summer surprised us, when galleries opened minds, adventures opened hearts, and we all remained open to whatever the day might offer. It was a time to enjoy. It was summer, this summer, at Biltmore. Plan your visit or overnight stay so you can enjoy the marvelous works of Chihuly and savor the season. Reserve now at Biltmore.com.
This is Sid and Friends in the morning.
But you say he's just a friend.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Oi. I think we're doomed.
Yeah, you're right about that. The great Steve Sharip, I think we're doomed. I just caught out of the corner of my eye Donny Osmond. Now, I'll admit this to you folks. When I was a kid, I loved the Donny and Marie show. I'm a little bit country. You're a little bit rock and roll. I watched it every week. I loved it. But it's over for Donny. His face it's weird. He looks weird, and he's wearing like a purple jacket, and there's like old ladies standing by the stage in the rain by Fox News, and it's just really sad to watch.
You know, when they had a show together, I think, not their variety show, they did a talk show. I think.
Yeah, they did a talk show too, yes.
I think it was the last time you saw Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton together.
No kidding.
They had Carol O'Connor there, and then they surprised him. They brought Gene Stapleton out.
On their show?
On their show.
Wow.
And they were standing up, like, hugging each other for about
nice.
5 minutes.
Archie Bunker. Yeah.
And she wouldn't do Edith. They said, could you do Edith for a second? And she went, no. I'm not doing that.
It was over.
They were accomplished actors, too, the two of them.
Of course.
And that's why the show was so great.
That's
and
awesome.
I think it was the last time I saw them together ever.
Wow.
Was on that show.
Two of my favorite politicians in Rockaway, Mary Glynn, she runs the Rockaway Republican Club, and her partner in crime, Margaret Powers, who's married to my friend Paul King, who's running for Congress against Gregory Meeks. They are going to Milwaukee, and they have decided they're now Laverne and Shirley on their way to Milwaukee. I'm on the way to Milwaukee, so is the great Congressman Anthony D'Esposito. Tony, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Sydney, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Great. I want to start with something personal. I played for Joe Nolan during his traffic report a couple of minutes ago, my son Gabriel, at the Bruce Beck Sports Broadcasting Camp, interviewing former Rutgers, Jet, Patriot, Dolphin quarterback Ray Lucas yesterday. And you know the story about Gabriel diagnosed with dyspraxia. You're very close, Anthony, with me and Danielle. And we reached out to you and Mike Lawler and others to help us move this charity along. And I'm really proud to say this, Anthony, that our colleague and dear friend out of Rockland County, Mike Lawler, and even this guy, a Democrat out of New Jersey, this is bipartisan support, Democrat Josh Gottheimer, who I did speak to yesterday. Lawler and Gottheimer helped put through a resolution for a National Dyspraxia Awareness Week, October 9th through October the 16th. They work with Dyspraxia DCD America, my wife Danielle, my beautiful wife, to get this done. And this is, by the way, Anthony, 2 weeks after Danielle went to Delaware, and their governor, also a Democrat, is also recognizing dyspraxia with a day or a week there, too. I know you helped as well. You, Lawler, Gottheimer, thank you very much.
Of course. Listen, it's good to see that even at times when it seems that the world is in chaos, we could have Democrats and Republicans come together to do the right thing for the right reason. And, tip of the hat as well to you and Danielle for the work that you're doing. It doesn't go unnoticed, and obviously raising awareness is critically important. So they're lucky to have fighters like you on their side.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. This is Congressman Anthony D'Esposito, who once again helped out in our efforts to move this organization along and make more and more people aware. Dyspraxia, Gabe's got it, I'm pretty sure. So do I. I mean, you talk about, though, Gottheimer and Lawler working together for me and Danielle to get this done. And, we look at this election coming up, and we'll get to the press conference later, but you've made the point, Anthony, that in your district, in Nassau County, there are many more Democrats than Republicans, many more. But you won relatively easily last time, and I expect the results to be the same again this November. Donald Trump, too. So when you look at the down ticket, the ballot, down the ticket, from Trump staying red with the rest of the votes by folks who vote out there. It looks like that's going to go well for New York. Is it fair to say right now that New York is a battleground state?
I think New York is a battleground state. I think that we started to prove that in 2022. Obviously, the top of the ticket, Lee Zeldin, ran a great race with Allison Esposito, who's back on the ballot again, and I think has an opportunity to flip that seat upstate. And you have those of us that have been coined the majority makers, myself, Lilota, Lawler, Molinaro, Williams. You know, we are fighting the good fight, and we have shown not only by words but by action that we have the willingness to go to Washington, D.C., to work on both sides of the aisle, to deliver for New York, to deliver for Long Island, and that's what people want to see. And right now, there is no question that the Republicans are the party of common sense because, as we've talked about before, the Democrats have gone so far to the left. You have Joe Biden and others pandering to people like Rashida Tlaib and Omar and AOC because they're afraid to lose places like Minnesota and Michigan. You have Chuck Schumer, who is the elected official, the highest ranking Jewish elected official in the United States of America, who continuously every day, just like Joe Biden did at his press conference last night, undermines not only the state of Israel, the people of Israel, but Benjamin Netanyahu. So the issues are on our side. And then you come home closer and you talk about Kathy Hochul and congestion pricing. You talk about cashless bail and criminal justice reform. You talk about the state legislature trying to take away local zoning from villages and towns here on Long Island and across New York State. Everything that we talk about, we are on the right side of the issues. And we also have to be concerned about our state legislators. I mean, here in Nassau County, we have Jack Martin, Steve Rhodes, Patricia Canzoneri Fitzpatrick, three state senators who are truly delivering for Nassau County, and they have their elections in November. So while the top of the ticket, Congress, Senate, and the president are going to be taking up most of the airwaves, we need to make sure that we make sure our neighbors go down ballot as well, because those races are just as critically important.
Excellent. Well said.
Hi, it's Lou Dobbs for Priority Gold, America's precious metals dealer. These are volatile times with high inflation, soaring debt, wars on multiple continents, and rising financial stress. Central banks are buying gold to diversify their reserves, so are many Americans. Call Priority Gold and find out how precious metals can help you diversify your portfolio. They're highly rated and happy to help. Call 1-866-303-6357 or get a free gold guide at PriorityGoldGuide.com. That's PriorityGoldGuide.com.
What makes our communities special is the way people rally together to help each other during a crisis. And today, what more and more neighbors are fighting against is hunger. Too many of our fellow Georgians are struggling to put food on the table. That's why the Atlanta Community Food Bank unites 29 North Georgia counties to fight hunger. Please give what you can at acfb.org. and help a neighbor in need today.
Anthony D'Esposito, I want to get now to something in your district in Nassau County. My friend and yours, Mazi Phillip, put something on my Instagram page yesterday where she's talking about, I'm sure you are too, $1,000 fine for folks that are wearing masks in Nassau County. Another opportunity for the Governor Kathy Hochul, who's the worst, and the Mayor Eric Adams to stop these cowards from terrorizing us. I know it's quiet now. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. As soon as school resumes in September, all that horrible activity we saw at Columbia, NYU, all those schools, it's coming back. They're getting ready as we speak to come back with a vengeance, and they're still wearing masks. According to Mazi, $1,000 fine. What are the odds you can make that happen?
I think it's going to happen. I think that, it's going to head to the county legislature. I think it's supposed to go to the Rules Committee as early as next week. Obviously, the county legislature is a Republican majority. I think they are common sense individuals who realize that, there are some exemptions which are in the legislation when it comes to medical or other related. But we have people right now that are utilizing the masks in order to wreak havoc on our communities. Me and you saw it firsthand with our own eyes when we were in New York City on multiple occasions. We've seen it in other protests throughout New York State. And I think that it's a proactive approach by Mazi. I'm glad to see that she's bringing it to the county legislature, and I look forward to seeing it across the finish line. We need to do everything that we can because, like you said, it is going to come back, and it's going to be with a vengeance. And I think it's going to be earlier than September because a lot of these terrorist sympathizers are heading back to classes in the next couple weeks.
You're right.
And obviously, with the election just 120-something days away, they know that they'll be able to get their media attention, their likes on Twitter, and their social media fame. So I think it's going to be worse than ever. We need to be ahead of it.
You said Joe Biden undermining Israel. My contention, Anthony, is that he did worse than that last night. And he doesn't undermine Israel. He stabs him in the back. He's anti-Israel. He's not pro-Israel. I know he starts off every sentence with, I support Israel. But then here comes this word, but. And he actually called Israelis occupiers twice last night. He talked about a war cabinet that is way too conservative. He mentioned a two-state solution, which no Israeli wants. 3 times. And he said his biggest regret when it comes to Israel, not the bodies, not the rapes, not the torture. His biggest regret was that he couldn't convince Bibi Netanyahu to do what he wants to do. I know you watched that. Forgetting about all the gaffes, referring to Kamala Harris, Trump, earlier in the day, calling Zelensky Putin. That's all funny and sad. It's part of his dementia. But what he talked about Israel last night, that was damn right anti-Jewish, no?
It absolutely is anti-Jewish, and I think we heard it the days following October 7th. Clearly, you and I heard it with our own ears at the State of the Union, and it's continuing, and he's trying to play both sides of the fence here. And what's scary is that there are individuals in the United States of America and in New York who are Jewish Americans who believe it, and that's the scary part. I mean, the fact that anybody would think that Joe Biden or any Democrat that is running that hasn't proven themselves to be supporters of Israel are going to support Israel is insane. The people that are running in New York, running against incumbents, they are running to follow the same line as Joe Biden. They would vote 100% of the time with him. They'd vote with the squad. I mean, just like we saw 2 days ago, 198 members of the Democratic Party voted no on legislation that called for only American citizens to vote in American elections.
Unreal.
I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, I'm not sure what will.
No, that was unreal. So on the way out, this is my dear friend out of Nassau County, Congressman Anthony D'Esposito. In my opinion, one of the bright stars we've got in the House today. Him and Lauder, too. Lauder's not even 40 years old yet. I want to talk about Milwaukee. I'm going to Milwaukee for the RNC tomorrow. I know you're heading out there with Joe Cairo and a host of others on Sunday. I believe you and I, we've got a dinner planned, Capitol Grill. We always go to the Capitol Grill, whether it's D.C., Milwaukee. There's always a good Capitol Grill. But aside from entertainment, what are you guys doing this week, the House, the Republican House in Milwaukee, to further any of your agenda?
So I think the most important thing about this upcoming week is to stay unified and to keep delivering the message and asking the question, are you better off today than you were 3.5 years ago? Continue to ask the questions that matter to the American people, to continue to focus on the issues, focus on the border and the fact that Joe Biden has allowed over 10 million people to come into this country illegally. Focus on the economy, where he tries to claim that the economy is in its greatest state ever and gaslight the American people. I mean, just today, a Long Island newspaper who doesn't usually talk well about Republicans posted some numbers. I mean, you talk about the stuff that's in grocery stores up 3%, dairy up 3%, electricity up 17%, rent 4.8%, recreational stuff. Everything costs more under Joe Biden. And lastly, we need to talk about the fact that on a global scale, he looks weak. And if we think that some of the things that have happened across the world haven't happened because those adversaries, the people who hate the United States of America, are looking at us as weak, we are crazy. And obviously, we need to talk about the fact that the Democrats are in disarray. the fact that we have Democrats calling and saying that Joe Biden shouldn't be on the ballot. So he should be on the ballot, but he shouldn't be. But he should continue to be president of the United States. You don't feel comfortable with a guy being on the ballot because you're afraid you're going to lose.
That's right.
You're okay with him being our commander in chief until January. That's insane. The Democrats are on the wrong side of the issues. The Democrats are certainly on the wrong side of the issues in New York. We're going to continue to fight that fight, and I know that on election night we'll have big wins in these seats that are held by Republicans. We're going to pick up a few seats, and we're going to send Donald J. Trump to the White House again.
Love that. Final 60 seconds. You've already censured Tlaib. I think you censured Omar, too. You've basically impeached everybody, Biden and Mayorkas. Is there anybody?
I'm just hoping they don't try to censure you.
They've already kicked me out of the State of the Union. That's possible. But is there anybody left to impeach, or are you missing somebody?
No, obviously we had the vote yesterday to hold Garland in inherent contempt. That went down.
That mother effer Merrick Garland shouldn't be impeached. She should be put in prison. How about that?
Yeah, so I supported that. I think that those tapes should be turned over to the American people. Anna Paulina Luna did a great job carrying that ball forward. I think she's going to do it again when we return after the convention. But listen, next week is about telling the American people exactly the work that the Republicans are doing, and most importantly, the work that we will do. It's not about just complaining. It's about talking about the solutions we have. It's about talking about the fact that we've put legislation on the floor, passed it, and sent it over to the Senate that has been sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk collecting dust.
Yep.
Those are the things that we need to talk about. We need to keep this country safe. We need to elect good Republicans, and we need to break the supermajority in the Senate and the Assembly.
Heck of a job, Anthony. I will see you at the Capitol Grill in Milwaukee on Sunday night, and I look forward to a very productive week. Anthony D'Esposito, thank you so much.
You got to say good Shabbos.
Thank you. Good Shabbos to you.
Every day, we rise, challenging ourselves to work for what we believe in. At U.S. Border Patrol, protecting our borders is more than a job. It's a calling. Agents answer the call, working together to keep our country and communities safe. If you're ready for a new mission, join U.S. Border Patrol and go beyond. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.